allow us to thank you for not bogging yourselves down with the business of doing business with your own people. We can take care of that for you. Please don't trouble yourselves with it. Yes, you were very successful at it after slavery ended, and even as recently as 1960. But you know what happened when you began to build your own communities and do business with one another? Some of the lower ones of our kind burned you out time and time again. So why bother? In today's business environment, your own people will not support you anyway. You just keep doing business with us. It's safer that way. Besides, everything you need, we make anyway, even kente cloth. You just continue to chant, to dance, sing, fight, get high, go to prison, backbite, envy, and distrust, and hate one another. Have yourselves a good time, and this time we'll take care of you.
This is a series that some of you will get and understand, and others will assume off the thumbnail and not bother to check out the video, while others will watch but really not pay attention because of preconceived notions of what they want to hear. So what Dr. Price spoke yesterday is timeless and applicable for today because it's rooted in Jesus. There's only one race, and it's the human race, especially according to God. But that's the way we all should look at each other. But that's not how we as people see ourselves, be it as one. So therefore, racism is a sin that Satan perpetuates on two fronts. The outward, which is the color of your skin, and the inwards, which is the emotion that fuels blame and hate. A lot of people today have a false fixation that racism has been abated, but realistically, it's been suppressed in their minds. And social media is a cesspool of truth and hatred. And this is why Pastor Price's lengthy teaching on the subject needs to be heard from now until the end of time, because as long as sin is a tool of Satan, then there is racism ready to rear its ugly head. If Jesus was a man of color, then that's simply part of the reality God chose. Recognizing that truth doesn't diminish his divinity or his mission. It actually strengthens it because God works in real history through real people in real cultures. So while salvation doesn't depend on his skin tone, teaching the truth matters because misrepresentation has long been used to enforce lies, create division, and feed self-hatred or superiority complexes. When we hold to truth, whether about Jesus' identity, the gospel, or anything else, we honor God as the God of truth. So here now is Pastor Price.
I just received an email on my computer, and This is very interesting, and I thought I ought to read this to you. Some of you may have picked it up off the internet, but this is absolutely incredible and awesome. The subject is Dear Black Americans. Did you see that one? Isn't that awesome? Do you remember it? Huh? Some of it? Oh, it's awesome. Listen to this. Dear Black Americans. Dear Black Americans. After all of these years and all we have been through together, we think it's appropriate for us to show our gratitude for all you have done for us. We have chastised you, criticized you, punished you, and in some cases even apologized to you. But we have never formally nor publicly thanked you for your never-ending allegiance and support of our cause. This is our open letter of thanks to a unique people, a forgiving people, a steadfast people, and a brave people. Black Americans, we will always be in debt to you for your labor. You built this country and were responsible for the great wealth we still enjoy today. Upon your backs, laden with the stripes we sometimes had to apply for disciplinary reasons. You carried our nation. We thank you for that. We thank you for your allegiance, your diligence rather, and tenacity, even when we refuse to allow you to even walk in our shadows. You followed close behind, believing that someday we would come to accept you and treat you like men and women. Your strength in the face of adversity cannot be understated. You are truly a great people, and we thank you so much. We publicly acknowledge black people for raising our children, attending to our sick, and preparing our meals while we were occupied with the trappings of the good life. Even during the times when we found pleasure in your women and enjoyment in seeing one of your men lynched, maimed, and burned, some of you continue to watch over us and our belongings. We simply cannot thank you enough. Your bravery on the battlefield, despite being classified as 3/5 of a man, was and still is outstanding and beyond the call of duty. We often watched in awe as you went about your prescribed chores and assignments, sometimes laboring in the hot sun for 12 hours to assist us in realizing our dreams of wealth and good fortune. You were always there, and we thank you. Now that we control at least 90% of all the resources and wealth of this nation, we have black people to thank the most. You were there when it all began, and you are still with us today, protecting us from those black people who have the tenacity or temerity to speak out against our past transgressions. How can we thank you for your dedication? You warned us about Denmark Vesey. You let us know about Gabriel Prosser's plans. You called our attention to Nat Turner, and you even sounded the alarm when old John Brown came calling on Harper's Ferry. Some of you still warn us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, as we look out upon our enormous wealth, and as we assess our tremendous control of the resources of this country, we can only think of the sacrifices you and your families made to make all of this possible. You are indeed fantastic, and we will forever be in your debt. To think of how you have looked out for us for hundreds of years, and to see you still doing the same thing today is simply amazing. Thank you for continuing to bring 95% of what you earn to our businesses. That is so gracious of you. Thanks for buying our Hilfigers, Karens, Nikes, and all of the other brands you so adore. Your purchases of these products really makes us feel that we are at least giving something back to you for your patronage. After all, in the past, the brands we put on you were quite painful, but those of today can be proudly worn because they give you a sense of self-esteem, right? But it's the least we can do for people who have treated us so well. Your superior athletes, entertainers, intellectuals, and business persons, both legal and illegal, exchanged most of their money for our cars, jewelry, homes, and clothing. What a windfall they have provided for us. The less fortunate among you spend all they have at our neighborhood stores, enabling us to open even more stores. Sure, they complain about us, but they never do anything to hurt us economically. You are a very special people. Thank you. Oh yes, allow us to thank you for not bogging yourselves down with the business of doing business with your own people. We can take care of that for you. Please don't trouble yourselves with it. Yes, you were very successful at it after slavery ended, and even as recently as 1960. But you know what happened when you began to build your own communities and do business with one another? Some of the lower ones of our kind burned you out time and time again. So why bother? In today's business environment, your own people will not support you anyway. You just keep doing business with us. It's safer that way. Besides, everything you need, we make anyway, even kente cloth. You just continue to chant, to dance, sing, fight, get high, go to prison, backbite, envy, and distrust and hate one another. Have yourselves a good time. And this time, we'll take care of you. It's the least we can do, considering all you've done for us. Heck, you deserve it, black people. for your labor, which created our wealth, for your resisting the messages of troublemaking blacks like Washington, Delaney, Garvey, Bethune-Tubman, and Truth, for fighting and dying on our battlefields. We thank you. For allowing us to move into your neighborhoods. We will forever be grateful to you. For your unceasing desire to be near us, and for hardly ever following through on your threats to our lack of reciprocity and equity. We thank you so much. We also appreciate your acquiescence to our political agendas, for abdicating your own economic self-sufficiency, and for working so diligently for the economic well-being of our people. You are real troopers. And even though the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were written for you, and many of your relatives died for the rights described therein, you did not resist when we changed those black rights to civil rights and allowed virtually every other group to take advantage of them as well. Black people, you are something else. Your dependence upon us to do the right thing is beyond our imagination, irrespective of what we do to you and the many promises we have made and broken. But this time, we will make it right. We promise. Trust us. Tell you what, you don't need your own banks, your own hotels. You can continue to stay in ours. You have no need for supermarkets when you can shop at ours 24 hours a day. Why should you even think about owning more banks? You have plenty now. And don't waste your energy trying to break into manufacturing. You've worked hard enough in our fields. Relax. Have a party. We'll sell you everything you need. And when you die, we'll even bury you at discount. Now, how's that for gratitude? Finally, the best part. You went beyond the pale and turned your children over to us for their education. With what we have taught them, it's likely they will continue in a mode similar to the one you have followed for the past 45 years. When Mr. Lynch walked the banks of the James River in 1712 and said he would make us a slave for 300 years, little did we realize the truth in his prediction. Just 13 more years and his promise will come to fruition. But with 2 generations of your children having gone through our education system, we can look forward to at least another 50 years of prosperity. Wow! Things could not be better. And it's all because of you. For all you have done, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Black Americans. You're the best friends any group of people could ever have. Sincerely, all other Americans.
You know, one of the most destructive impacts of racism has been the way it rewrites history and perception by portraying black people as an afterthought. Society has subconsciously conditioned generations to view blackness as secondary, undesirable, or irrelevant. Black achievements are being erased or minimized. Black history is narrowed to slavery, skipping over millennia of greatness. Africa is framed as poor and broken, not as the cradle of civilization that it is. This isn't accidental, it's the result of deliberate historical erasure designed to uphold a system of white superiority. And then there's a biblical connection, and we were always in the story. You see, when you connect this to the Bible, the picture becomes even clearer. The Bible isn't a European book, its roots are in Middle East Africa. Ancient kingdoms like Egypt, Kush, and Ethiopia, all African regions, play a major role throughout Scripture. And figures like Moses and Solomon and the Ethiopian eunuch are tied to African regions. The gospel itself first spread south into Africa long before Europe embraced it. So when people push the lie that black people were added or a side note to God's plan, that's not biblical truth. That's man's revision of it. Black people are not an afterthought to God. They were present in the story from the beginning. See, racism reinforced through lies. Racism is reinforced through lies. The idea that black people are criminals, lazy, or unintelligent has been systemically programmed through media stereotypes, through school curriculum omissions, and through religious whitewashing, and also through economic and political systems. When these lies are repeated generation after generation, they shape how the world sees black people, and sadly, even how some black people see themselves. So when truth is uncovered about inventions, history, kings and queens, biblical lineage, it breaks the illusion. And truth dismantles stereotypes. Truth restores dignity. And the redemptive lens is this. Here's a deeper point in what I'm making, is that when they don't see us as redemptive, they deny the image of God in us. If black people are always portrayed as broken, then society never sees us as vessels of God's glory. But when history and scripture are told truthfully, it reveals something different. That black people have value, that we have been a part of God's plan all along, and that our contributions shape nations, technology, and civilization itself. And yes, the truth changes perceptions. And that's why this message matters. See, when you speak biblically about truth, about race and history and identity, it doesn't just educate, it shifts perception. It removes lies that were planted, and it restores value to a people intentionally devalued. So the same society that viewed blackness as repugnant will have to confront the reality. And that reality is that black people are not an afterthought. We were always in the plan. So continue to renew your mind. Enough said.